YouTube, what's up? Back again with another banger. So today's story is about the honey badger. So the question I have to you is, are you the honey badger in your life, or are you just a person who merely exists? So what do I mean by that? So I was watching this National Geographic channel about honey badgers, stuff like that. Now they have a snake over there in Africa called the puff adder. Now we think the baddest snakes in the world is the taipan, the viper, the king cobra, the rattlesnake, all these different snakes. Don't get me wrong, they all pretty badass and they're all dangerous. However, that puff adder seemed to be very, very, very vicious, kind of like the pit bull of snakes, right? So I was watching this video of this honey badger. Now we know for its size, the honey badger is not afraid of anything. And when I tell you that the honey badger is not afraid of anything, I mean that little creature is not afraid of anything, right? So now, this particular honey badger, he's tracking down snakes, he climbing up trees, chewing up cobras, and they some greedy little bastards on top of that, right? They'll pretty much eat anything and everything. So, he climbing up trees, fighting with cobras, rah, rah, he owned one, fighting with lions. This little creature is ruthless, right? So he comes across this puff adder. Now, by him demolishing all these other snakes that I just described, right? He breaking them off something proper. Chewing them up. Okay, he get to this puff adder, and him and the puff adder going at it back and forth. He's snagging at the puff adder. The puff adder, popping back at him. He popping back at the puff adder. They going back and forth. Now, don't get me wrong. The puff adder, every time the honey badger come in, the puff adder is hitting him with one, right? Bam! He hitting him, right? I'm like, ooh, dang. But the honey badgers don't go out. So finally, the puff adder, after the honey badger, he won't leave him alone, right? The honey badger got it in his mind that, man, I'm finna chew this is the meal. I'm finna chew this snake apart, right? So he go in one final time. The puff adder, get a hold of him and lock on. He put the on him, right? Held on to him for a couple of seconds and shit, and then let him go. So, the honey badger, after he took so many bites, he kind of, and he passed out. So I'm thinking, oh wow, the puff adder then killed this honey badger, right? But now, keep in mind, the blow that the honey badger gave the puff adder killed the puff adder, right? So now they both laying there side by side, and in my mind, I'm thinking they both dead. They killed each other. This is crazy, right? I kid you not. 2 hours later, the honey badger woke up, shook it off, and finish this meal. Now you got to be ruthless to survive that. One of the most deadliest snakes in the world. Most things, creatures, and people after a battle like that would have gotten up, if they even survived it, they would have gotten up and said, forget this, I'm done, and walked away. But the honey badger didn't do that. He wake up, shake it off, and continue to eat the puff adder. Now, what is the moral of this story? We live in a very, very tough world. And sometimes things become so difficult to where you want to give up. You want to quit. You say, enough is enough. I've had enough. But we all have a little bit of honey badger in us. Sometimes you have to dig deep down inside to bring that up out of you. You have to do that in order to survive in this world. So I ask you, who are you? Are you the puff adder? Or are you the honey badger? You get to decide who you are in this life. But whatever you decide, be resilient, be strong, be focused, be the winner that you know that you can be. That being said, next time. Peace. Talk to you soon, YouTube.